All right, let's start with the TTF front month. So on the weekly chart, we are still bullish because we are still above the ascending triangle. Now we are doing a little bit of a support test here. It's called pullback support. On the daily chart, we are still within the ascending channel, but we have been correcting lower for quite some time. So we'll quickly identify how low can it go. And on the intraday charts, it's a little bit of a mess because we have been moving sideways for quite some time, and now there's a chance for the market to move a little bit higher. If we look into the details on the weekly chart, we do see the following. So I'm just zooming out and we see, yep, of course, since 2022, we've been moving lower, and of course, we've had this ascending triangle resolved in mid October, and now we are hitting support at this ascending triangle, which previously offered resistance. Now it's offering support. We also do see that the latest weekly candle is a spinning top, almost a doji, but not quite. It's a spinning top, which simply means that the market doesn't really know where to go from here. We are feeling for a direction. Nothing is really working out. Nobody is winning. So let's have a look at the tools. What are they telling us? I like to keep it simple with the tools. I like to look at one oscillator. I like to look at one trend or momentum tool. And then, of course, volume plays an important role as well. So you always do have a lot of tools available, hundreds essentially, but there's only 5 types. There's trend, momentum, volume, volatility, and oscillator tools. And we want to use a maximum of one tool per category. And I'm focusing on the ones that I like the most. If you're not a big fan of stochastic, I can recommend the CCI, which is also a very solid indicator for oscillators. I do not recommend the RSI for European energy markets. You barely get ever any good signals, to be completely honest. Okay, so let's have a look. Oscillator. What is the oscillator doing? Yes, we did get a bearish signal. When was that? Here, so which is the result now with the market topping out. But overall, the important thing is to note the trajectory. So overall, we are making higher highs and higher lows, which in itself is a bullish indication. So can you see on the price chart higher highs and higher lows, where the oscillator makes higher highs and higher lows? So yeah, we are essentially still after this bottom. There is the opportunity to move higher. Then I look at the MACD, which is a trend and momentum tool, and we do see, we just pushed above the zero line, which in itself is a bullish signal. So a move above it is a bullish, above zero is a bullish signal. So we got a bullish signal here. We've got some medium term upside trajectory here. We have the ascending triangle that gives us a target near, I think it was 71. So we get a target, breaking above here. Ultimately, we should go to 70, 71. This is active. And the only thing that's caging us in right now is the 200 EMA. I'll make this white. I'll just give this another color. Nobody can see dark blue on black. This is insane. So let's quickly change this around. So we can see that we are still below the 200 exponential moving average, which is we are boxed in. Yeah, we are boxed in between 56 or almost 56, I would say 58 from the moving average, and to the downside at 44.8. So I want to see a clear break above this in order to be reaching the target at 70. If we move below, we wouldn't immediately undo the midterm uptrend, because an uptrend is in place as long we make higher highs and higher lows. I believe that the low is here at 35. That's quite a bit, yeah. But I wouldn't immediately undo the midterm uptrend. So what's happening on the daily chart? So zooming out, we do see that, all right, so we do have this ascending channel happening here. And we have been retracing lower more recently within the channel. So we have been retracing this up leg. We are now retracing this lower. And usually downside corrections are usually bottoming out in the 50% to the 61.8% FIB retracement. So we are trying to retrace up leg. 50% was somewhere here. and now we're at the 61.8%. So we are essentially, yeah, this should be bottoming, the market should be bottoming out, yeah. And now the idea is maybe to move higher. But is that really going to happen? Okay, so let's have a quick look. Once again, we do use oscillators. I'm looking at the stochastic and we see, yeah, okay, so we are making lower lows and lower highs. That's not good, but we did get a bullish signal and we did make our first higher high. Can you see this was the previous high and we moved above that? So we are making our first higher high. So I believe that this here is this, of course, and now we have a chance to actually move higher. But what do trend tools say? Well, the trend tools are still trending lower. And also we can see the 12 and the 8 exponential moving averages. I like to use them because they're reasonably timely. They are still pointing lower. So what's going on here? Well, this is still intact. This down leg here is still intact. So that's why we are, well, why the tools are still showing that. Trend momentum tools, they are usually lagging. So they are lagging a little bit behind. So even if we would move a little bit higher, this would take quite some time for the momentum tools to actually point higher as well. We do get an earlier signal on the oscillators. So on the Clever Markets report, we are still neutral because we are seeing this down leg here is a correction to the underlying uptrend. So that we are correcting lower, so we are neutral here. Uh, with another methodology, we could have turned bearish, absolutely. But I believe that these opportunities are best traded on the intraday chart. Yes, we do see like lower highs and lower lows. So this started to worry me essentially. Yeah. But now that we have are nearly at the bottom, I'm not going to change my outlook to bearish because if we truly bottom out here, then no luck. So that's why I say let's trade this on the intraday charts. So what is happening on the intraday charts? Here I'm looking at, no, let's start with the hourly. And we can see zooming out that nothing is happening. So we have had this increasingly tighter range, yeah, some time ago here and here. So we did have a little bit of a triangle. Either way, the market is moving into a tight range, yeah. And then we resolved to the downside, but yeah, no luck here because we asked, okay, this doesn't look pretty. Let's do something maybe like this or like, yeah. Well, we do get the idea. When we draw in these rough levels, it's sometimes okay to draw it in with a crayon. This definitely is not accurate. But we can see overall that, yeah, we have been shifting lower, but overall we have been moving into an increasingly tighter range, yeah? Something, well, I don't know, even like this, or if you want, depending on where you draw it, maybe even something like this. So zip, zip, yeah? So it's getting tighter and tighter. One little note here. Overall, drawing in angled lines, anything like this here, yeah, is less objective than drawing in any horizontal levels. Okay, so that's just simply by the nature of the thing. It is by default less objective because here's only one number that we have to rely on, but if you do an angle there's like different options. But overall the idea remains the same for our markets here, boom, or maybe here, boom, boom, yeah. So we are in a sideways trend, nothing much is happening here. So now this is very dangerous for intraday traders as well, who might want to capitalize on these smaller swings because the swings are getting smaller and smaller. Because here on the weekly chart, on the hourly chart, we do see a descending triangle forming roughly. So zooming out, yeah, it looks like this. You can ignore the other markings; they're old, and usually these are resolved to the downside. So are we going to resolve lower? Well, we have to see what's actually happening because we can't predict the breakout direction. We can only deal with it when it happened. And here we do have some really good levels actually. So let's zoom in on the 15-minute chart, which is also available to our Clever Market subscribers. So we do cover the 15-minute daily and weekly charts in great detail every single day. So you can see within this triangle, we have formed a tentative double bottom. So here's the one trough, here's the other. We have a preceding downtrend, and we have the neckline here. So what we want to see is a move above 47, which is the neckline, which would then activate a target at 48.32. So if we move above here, we could easily make it to here. However, this isn't certain yet. We truly need to see a break above this. Otherwise, we are still continuing sideways. How likely are we to move higher? Well, let's have a look at momentum tools. So bullish momentum is picking up. We do see that the 8 exponential moving average, white, is above the 12 exponential moving average, orange. We also do see that overall the MACD is pushing higher. Didn't quite get a bullish signal yet, but the idea is that we could definitely attack the 47. So let's put all of this together. So analysis is usually done top down, but the trading decision is usually done bottom up. So let's have a quick look. So for the intraday players early this week, look for 47 to break, and then we could activate a target to 48. If this holds, we'll probably go sideways or maybe even break lower. Looking at the hourly chart, we do see that, oh yeah, we do have this descending triangle going on. So if we are, even if we move higher, all of this might be just temporary, because the idea is maybe ultimately to break lower, but we do definitely need a confirmation in this thick support area that goes until, what is this, 44.57 even, to be honest, yeah. Then zooming out into the uh, by the way, the 44.7, yeah, so this level here is kind of this here. So can you see, if we break above, below this descending triangle, then we would move back into the ascending triangle on the weekly chart. So can you see how all the time frames are linked? But for now, on the daily chart, we still see ascending triangle, ascending channel, and we have been correcting lower, but the idea is this kind of it? Yeah, are we pushing higher here? So what will happen will first be visible on the 15 and hourly chart, 15-minute and hourly chart. That will then inform whether or not we are going to move lower again, this down leg here, or if the down leg is over. And this will then have an impact on whether or not we continue within this range, or if we break below the ascending weekly triangle, or if there's a possibility to move higher. For now, I say hands off the big stuff, yeah. Maybe just focus on the smaller intraday moves, because that's where the opportunities are right now. And that is it for the TTF front month. Before we move over to the next contract, I have a little favor to ask. If you find any of this useful, then please consider sharing it with your colleagues if you think they would get something out of it as well. Would really mean a lot to me. I'm just trying to spread some knowledge here, and if you want to learn more, go to clevermarkets.com. Alright, now let's go on with the contracts. So, what has Brent been up to? On the weekly chart, we are now turning from a mid-term neutral market to a bearish market. And that is simply because we did get a bearish crossover on the 8 and 12 exponential moving average, and we also did close below our preceding trough. So now we are possibly moving lower. On the daily chart, it looks like this. So we have drawn in a tentative falling wedge, and we are now looking for short selling opportunities in the peaks. So we are probably forming a little bit of a correction higher, and once we figured out where that is in the next couple of sessions, we'll then look for a short selling opportunity. On the intraday chart, so there's the hourly, we can see that we are still well below a trend line, which is here, yeah, on the daily chart. And we do see that on the 15-minute chart, it is all a little bit more granular. We are still moving higher, but there is a chance for the market to open weak this morning. Okay, on the weekly chart, let's look into a few more details here, okay? So we do see that, yep, we did get a bearish crossover of the 8 and 12 exponential moving average. I personally do like to look at 8 and 12 because they're like sensitive enough to get like most of the swing, so but not too sensitive to throw you in and out of the market all the time. So yep, midterm downtrend is confirmed with those. And we also do see that we have the stochastic gradually swinging lower. We are not even in oversold territory yet, so there's still some room to go lower. Looking at the MACD, we do see that we did get a bearish crossover, a preliminary bearish crossover, but the real bearish signal is only given if we move below zero. But with the setup of a lower low, we did get the crossover and we got the stochastic. I'm fairly confident in calling this midterm bearishness. So zooming out, we do see this happening. Can you see how nicely the 8 and 12 are actually working out? So now that we got a bearish signal on the weekly chart, I mean, we've done that before, but now even with more confidence, we are looking for short selling opportunities on the daily chart. And where do we look for those? Well, probably not here. Of course, we want to see a little bit of a retracement higher before then entering short. That doesn't mean we can't trade this up leg here. Of course we can, but more on the intraday charts. So we can see that we have drawn in a new tentative falling wedge, and ultimately falling wedges are resolved to the upside, usually 2/3 into the apex of uh, the pattern, which would be probably somewhere around here in this area. So we still got some swings to go. Okay, so what are the tools doing? Yep, we do see that MACD confident in its bearishness, and we also do see that stochastic overall is swinging lower. But what is this? We did get a bullish crossover in oversold territory, which in itself is a bullish near-term signal. And that's exactly what we got. So can you see we have, so the market doesn't go down in just a straight line, right? So we need our peaks and troughs. So here we do see a big red candle. We got a smaller green candle contained within the body of this red candle, which means it is a bullish a bullish harami. And the bullish harami was confirmed with this green candle, last Friday's daily green candle, moving above or just closing just above the opening of the first part of the bullish harami. So now I want to see this level break, which is at 81.43. And I want to see this break for the uptrend to continue. Not an uptrend, the up leg. Yeah. But would we take this? Probably not on the daily chart. We can trade this on the intraday chart. Yeah. So for now, we are still confidently bearish. We are just looking for a short selling opportunity once we top out. But we can still profit from the up leg. But this is being called into question as well. So we are looking now at the hourly chart. What we see here, zooming out, we are with confident with confidence we have been pushing lower. More recently, excuse this, it's getting a bit messy when you zoom in. More recently, we have come up a little bit, and overall, yeah, the MACD is looking bullish. It is looking optimistic. We do see on the hourly chart. The 8 and 12 exponential moving averages are also pointing higher, so it is looking okay. But we want to see this here resolve, this tiny area. And that's going to happen this morning, hopefully. So what we want to see is either a move below 81.38, which would break us below the rising broadening wedge, and we would then probably see more losses towards this like lower level or this, there you go, second degree trend line, right? Here we've got this, and then probably could break lower until here. Alternatively, a move above 81.72 could then lead to 82.06, and then we would just simply continue swinging higher. We can see right now in a sideways trend, I do not encourage you to use or rely on moving average crossover signals. Also, do not really rely on any like signals. I mean, there's nothing coming up, but any signals on the MACD, because these tools are all based on moving averages, and moving averages don't really work in sideways trends very well. In sideways trends, we like to rely on stochastic, but or any oscillator, CCI, not so much RSI, doesn't work anymore, that tool all that well. So, but you can see like what is happening here. So we are bottoming out before we are even in oversold territory. What is this? So that could mean that there is an indication for the market to maybe move higher, but I'm not making a call here. I just want you to be prepared for any eventuality below 81.38 or above 81.72 or 82.06. How this resolves, and now we zoom out again, right? As we always say, we analyze top down and we make trading decisions bottom up. So, however this here resolves, we will then know on the daily chart if this up leg will continue. And if so, I mean, we could go bullish on the intraday, but we would kind of wait it out on the daily chart if you want to take a trade that's maybe, I don't know, a couple of days or weeks. Yeah. So, can you see how my trading strategies, my approaches change? Here, we are more position trading. We're taking the long trend. The daily chart, we are more into swing trading. So we trade the swings of the direction. And intraday, we are simply going with whatever gives us a little bit of an edge. So here it's more like intraday trading in quotation marks, where we can take both sides. And this is how I like to do it with the Clever Markets methodology. That was Brent. And that's it for this week's Outlook. If you found that useful, then please consider sharing it with your network. My name is still Marcello Colax. You can find me on LinkedIn. I am very active there. Every single day I post my thoughts on the European energy markets there. So do give me a follow, connect with me, and check out what else we have to offer at clevermarkets.com. Thank you very much and see you around.